And the first Champions League game week is now over, boys and girls. It's been 3 crazy days of so many great matches, all taking place on 3 different days. And it's something I'm going to miss personally because this is the first and last game week that we're going to see games taking place on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's not going to happen for the next 7 game weeks. And personally speaking, it was fun, man. It's fun. Listen, I know we're going to go back to the traditional games on a Tuesday and Wednesday, but having games on Thursday where all the games are spread out in different days, it was fun. It was fun whilst it lasted. It was fun whilst it lasted. But we're back to normal. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about the first game week. Let's talk about what we learned, the biggest takeaways, who you impressed, who didn't, which teams needs to deliver. Because as you guys know, the Champions League, every game is crucial. Every game is massive. Like, you can't afford to slip up a one game there or one game there. Like usually, like before in the old traditional style, at 6 games, you play the same team twice in one group stage. And you can afford, if you lose the first game, you can afford to lose the next game. But this time around, you can't even afford to do that because this is a league phase. So if you miss out, 3 points could be the difference between you making the playoffs or you making it automatically or you even not even being there in the first place. So this is why every game is massive. And those teams who have currently got 3 points, they've managed to have a great start. But it's not over yet. 7 more game weeks. But the games that took place has been massive games, has been great games. And let's talk about it before we start, before we go into detail on each game. Not necessarily each game, but the biggest standout games. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. The road to 100k as always. And of course, comment your own thoughts and the games which in your opinion was the standout, the games which in your opinion was the massive games, which of course there's a couple there. Tuesday's games, you of course had Arsenal winning at Bilbao. Massive win for Arsenal. Of course, the first 15 to 20 minutes, it was a hostile environment, similar to what we saw yesterday against Newcastle and Barcelona. But I think Arsenal managed to regroup, similar to what Barcelona did. They managed to regroup. They did very well to get into the game. And of course, the second half, Arteta masterclass, bringing in the right players. The players that came off the bench, the Martinelli, the Trossard, all impacted. And that's what Arteta did. Arteta, I think, he's now managing to pick his moments, and he knows exactly, like, listen, I've got a massive squad depth. Look at my team. I'm covered in every single position. Midfield, attack, defense. Defense, brother. Defense, brother. Look at the team he put out, bro. Timber, Mosquera, Gabriel, Calafiori, the players, happy coming off the bench. And even players that never came off the bench in Saliba, Lewis Kelly, and you've got Ben White injured and coming back. Bro, like, the depth they have is absolutely insane. Of course, this has been the biggest talking about Arsenal so far this season and how great their squad depth is, which is why I see them going far in the Champions League, bro. Like, going away to Bilbao, going away to San Mamés is not easy. But picking up 3 points, 2 goals, a clean sheet once again. Bro, Arsenal, like I said, I predicted them to finish within top 3, top 4 in the league phase. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. So Arsenal, massive win. Of course, we saw Union pick up a massive 3 points. That was one of the surprise results. Of course, going away to PSV, start the season very well, but picking up 3. And I saw the highlight. Bro, they were the better team. I saw the stats. They were the better team. The goals we just scored. There was one goal, specifically the second goal by that number 10 player. Who was his name? The number 10 dude? He scored a massive goal, like a massive. This Al-Hajj, he scored a massive goal, like a Union picking up 3 points. Fair play to them. Then we saw arguably the biggest shock result of the first game week, and that's Benfica losing at home to Karabakh. That was specifically leading up 2-0. Like, Benfica, in the first 10 minutes, they were 2-0 up. Things were going well. Boom, Karabakh gets a goal in the first half and then 2 goals in the second half, specifically a late one in the 85th minute. And now Benfica, we've all seen the news. They sacked their manager and they've hired Mr. Special One, Jose Mourinho. Going back to Benfica. That was his first club when he first, of course, started his managerial career. And his next game, hey, man, he's got a couple good games. He's got a game against Chelsea, game against Real Madrid. So listen, Jose back in the Champions League, come on, man, it makes sense. It has to be. It has to be. Then we saw maybe the biggest game and arguably the most entertaining game for those who watched it. A lot of people tuned into Madrid-Marseille, but this is the game that, of course, took everyone's attention. 4-4. Juve, Dortmund, in a game which had everything. You had screamers, you had comebacks, you had surprises, you had bad refereeing decisions. Like the penalty for Dortmund, that wasn't even a penalty, but you saw Juve, this fighting spirit, the same way they did in the weekend against Inter Milan, coming from behind from 3-2 in the last 10 minutes. They did the same thing against Dortmund. 2 goals in extra time. 94th, 96th. Like Juve this season, yeah, we've come to realization of Juve over the past couple of years that they're boring football. Allegri ball, you know what I mean? Sarri ball, winning 1-0, 2-1. But fam, so far this season, the last 2 games, they've scored 8 goals. Like 2-0 ball, them man don't care about defending. Them man care about goals, goals, and goals. And it helps having, of course, the star man, the star boy, the wonder kid in Yildiz. Like the impact that he had, especially that goal that he scored was so amazing. Dusan, once again, coming off the bench and delivering. Like Dusan, he scored 2 goals the first 2 games of Serie A, now scoring 2 goals again. And Lloyd Kelly, another Englishman scoring. Lloyd Kelly scoring, but this game was absolute insane. Like the standout game, of course, of game week 1. If you missed the highlights, I would highly recommend watching it. Because fam, the first half, by the way, had 0 goals. Like go back to it, yeah. The first half had 0 goals. Then the second half, that was an average, a goal scored every 5 minutes in the second half. Like the second half did not miss. Another game which didn't miss, and another player which didn't miss was Kylian Mbappe. Madrid, of course, starts the Champions League campaign with 3 points. It wasn't the most convincing in the second half, even though the first half was amazing. Like Madrid had about 10 shots, really, for the first time since 2004. A goalkeeper saves like 10 shots in the first half. And Madrid was very good in the first half. Then the second half, everyone knows about the penalty decision, the Dani Carvajal red card, which to me is still stupid. But the penalty, as you guys know, it wasn't a penalty. Madrid got very fortunate. We got very lucky in the second half, and we managed to pick up 3 points, which if it wasn't for the penalty, I don't think we would have picked up 3 points. But listen, sometimes it goes against you, similar to what we did at the Sociedad game where Dean Huijsen got a red card for no reason. Now the decision goes in our favor. So it swings in both ways. It swings in both ways. And then you had Spurs, Thomas Frank's first European game for Spurs, and he picked up 3 massive points against Villarreal, another team which I feel like can make a deep run. But Spurs, with the schedule which they have, I do see them making top 8. I predicted it, and I feel like they will do it, and it started well. Winning at home is massive. Like, you have to pick up. Bro, you play 4 games at home. You play 4 games at home, and those 4 games, you have to win. You have to win if you want to put yourself in a great position to make the top 8. And that's what Spurs did. Then you had the Wednesday games. And it was kind of boring with Olympiacos and Paphos. Bodo Glimt making a late comeback. They were winning by 2. Sparta Prague was winning 2-0. And the Bodo Glimt, the same way they've been doing the Europa League last season, making late comebacks to pick up, of course, a crucial point. Then you had Inter without Lautaro Martinez. But who else? Thuram stepped up with identical goals. Identical goals from the corner. 42nd minute, corner from Hakan, Thuram with the header. Second half, corner from Hakan, Thuram with the header. Identical goals, and Inter picks up 3 massive points. Everyone predicted and everyone was expecting Inter to have a disappointing season, a disappointing campaign with Inzaghi leaving. But listen, going away to Ajax, picking up, even though Ajax, bro, you know the fall-off. There's been teams, yeah, who's, of course, fallen off massively. Look at Ajax lineup, yeah, and tell me if this is the Ajax that you know. Honestly speaking, I can only recognize Jaros from Liverpool, Klassen, captain your side in big 2005, put in the back. Then you have Taylor, who was there over the past couple of years, and of course, Weghorst. Windle, of course, played for AZ. Other than that, who the hell is he? Who the hell is he? Who? Bro, like, the fall-off is absolute insane. Like, it needs to be spoken about a lot. But, of course, Inter picks up 3 massive points. Then you have Bayern and Chelsea, which is arguably, that was the biggest game on paper in terms of matchups, in terms of Champions League resume, you can say. And 2 big teams, of course. And Bayern picks up 3 massive points. They beat Chelsea 3-1 in a result which I feel like everyone is over. They're doing too much. They're doing too much. Everyone's saying, oh, Chelsea's bad, Chelsea this, Chelsea that. If you really put it into perspective, like I watched the game, I rewatched it because I was watching Liverpool and Atleti, but I rewatched it. Bro, Chelsea conceded 3 goals. And those 3 goals was from an own goal, from a penalty, and from a bad mistake by Malo Gusto. The first half, Chelsea did very well. They weren't stroke with Bayern. Like they could have, that first half, it ended 2-1 to Bayern, but it could have easily been 2-2. It could have easily been a Chelsea actual win in the first half. Like Chelsea played very well in the first half. The second half is where the moment the third goal came in, you could see the Chelsea player just defeated. The manager looked defeated, the fans looked defeated, and the game was pretty much over the moment the third goal came in, and it killed the game. It killed the momentum. But Chelsea was doing very well. I feel like people are looking at the game and saying, oh, Chelsea, maybe they weren't that good. Brother, you need to put it in perspective, yeah? Chelsea got 8 games. This was the toughest game on paper. Then you've got Barca coming to Chelsea. And other than that, the next remaining 6 games, they can easily pick up 15 points. I don't see this result as a massive low block for Chelsea. It's like, you know what, Chelsea might not even make top 8, bro. They can still do it. And I think they played well. In the first half, they did very well. Another team who did very well was Liverpool. Once again, unsustainable hype. Can they do it again? Yes, they can. Liverpool once again, last minute winner. This time around, bro, they were winning 2-0 within the first 6 minutes. I thought it was going to continue. I thought they would continue that. I thought it was going to be 3-4-0 in the first half. And that's what it looked like. But then Atleti, Llorente, he knows Anfield very well. Hey, man, he's familiar with Anfield. He's familiar with the playground. Scores a goal, and then scores the second goal in the second half. And then Virgil van Dijk, Mr. Capitan, of course, scores the winner. So many talking points, of course. Isaac's debut, he had an okay game. Florian Wirtz having an okay game. Salah having arguably his biggest game for me. Gravenberch was sensational in that game. Virgil van Dijk was the standout. But even Atleti, the game was mostly about Simeone and what he did after having, of course, the antics and the beef and the fight and the argument with the fan when Virgil van Dijk scored. Of course, he got sent off, which I feel like he's going to get suspended for the next couple of games. But typical Cholo. Typical El Cholo. Paris Saint-Germain beating Atalanta. It's not the same Atalanta team as before. Of course, Gasperini not being there. But Paris Saint-Germain starting the campaign on a good note. They are the defending champions. They are the heavy favourites. They've got the best team. They've got everything about them, to be fair. Even without Dembele and without Doué, they still managed to pick up 4 points, of course. 3 points with 4 goals. Kivita scoring, he was amazing. Nuno Mendes was absolutely sensational. Gonzalo Ramos coming off the bench and scoring, and Barcola missing a penalty once again. And his bad finishing. Barcola should have left that game with a hattie. He left with 0 goals. Are we surprised? Hell no. That's typical Barcola. But Paris Saint-Germain starting on a good note. And then you have yesterday's games. And you saw a surprise result. Club Brugge 4-1. No one expected that. No one expected that because Monaco could have started the game on a good note. They missed a penalty early on. The first 10 minutes, they missed a penalty. And after that, boom, the momentum changed completely. I was flipping between this game and the Leverkusen game, which took place, of course, at 5:45, the early kickouts. But then Club Brugge, bro, out of nowhere, 4 goals, bro. And it was convincing. It was dominant. It was deserved. It's not like it was against the run-off play. It wasn't. Like, Club Brugge were the better team. Club Brugge, by the way, we're not surprised. I predicted it in my Champions League preview on my second channel, where I was previewing the games last Monday. I was expecting the Club Brugge to do well. I was expecting Club Brugge to pick up points. I didn't expect them to win 4-1. I'm going to be real. But this isn't surprising. This isn't surprising at all because they can do it. They did it last season, reaching, of course, the playoffs and the round of 16. This isn't surprising. They did it last season, and I'm sure they're going to do it this season as well. But, of course, another talking point about the game is Ansu Fati. Finally back from injury, the Barcelona loanee scores a goal in his first game for Monaco. Whether that's going to kick off his Monaco career, we will see. Then you had... What the hell happened here? What the hell happened? Yeah. Then we have Leverkusen and, of course, Copenhagen, which Copenhagen got robbed. Copenhagen got absolutely robbed, fam. There is no way in hell this game should have ended 2-2. This game should have been 3 points for Copenhagen. Leverkusen should have lost this game, but hey, man, they got robbed. As simple as that. As simple as that. That was arguably, you can say the Mbappe penalty, you can say the Dortmund penalty against Juve. This is up there. Wow, my voice is gone, baby. My voice is gone. But this is arguably up there with one of the biggest robberies. Then you had Frankfurt beating Gala. Gala scored the first goal. Gala, they scored the first goal, and then Frankfurt, not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 goals against Gala. Of course, Gala had no Osimhen, and maybe that can change when they finally bring him back next month. But let's see. Then Man City beating Napoli, and the biggest talking point about the game was Kevin De Bruyne returning back to Man City, this storyline, and after 25 minutes, he got hooked. After 25 minutes, he got taken off. And I want to talk about it. I want to briefly give my opinion about it because everyone was making jokes about it. I'm going to be real, chat. I'm going to be so real. The reason why I got taken off is, of course, Di Lorenzo got sent off. Di Lorenzo got sent off at the 21st minute. So I fully understand Conte taking off KDB because you look at this team, and you've got a decision to make. Conte, your right back is gone. You have to make a defensive substitution. You have to make a defensive, bring a person on. You can't make Politano into a right back or Anguissa into a right back or Lobotka into a right back. You have to bring someone in the back line. You look at this team, all of them got legs. Lobotka, legs. Anguissa's got McTominay, Politano, Haaland can run for days. You look at Kevin De Bruyne, who's literally 34 years old, who is in his finishing days, in his twilight days. You can't expect him to run with 10 players because Napoli's not going to have the ball. With 10 players, Napoli now have to defend, go side to side, where City is going to pass the ball from side to side. They just have to run. And when they get that counter, they just have to run. You can't expect Kevin De Bruyne to do that for 490 minutes. So taking KDB out was the most sensible decision. Yes, it looks bad because why did you take KDB out against City? You can't do that. Bro, who else would have taken out? If you kept KDB, I would look at Conte and say, really, bro? Like, Conte, are you becoming soft? Like, Conte's not known for, he doesn't care about storylines. He doesn't care about player relationship, anything of that. He made the right decision. Of course, City won, which wasn't a surprise with 10 players, but Conte made the right decision. I just want to make that very clear. Then, of course, the standout game, Barcelona beating Newcastle in a game which I spoke about yesterday already. Not the result I was hoping for, not the result which I was expecting, not the result which I was predicting. Like, Newcastle could have won this game. Everything was built around them. It was given to them. No Lamine Yamal, no Balde at St. James Park. The atmosphere, they had their 25-minute window in the first half where they could have scored a goal. But after that, Barcelona regained control. They took with it the second half. Marcus Rashford, not one, but 2 goals. Absolute silence, not just the Newcastle crowd, but it silenced me, fam. Like I was saying in the first half and at half time, and then my watch on, I was like, why is Rashford on, fam? Like, Rashford, keep it on. I was making fun. I was bantering. I was saying if Hansi Flick wants to win, he has to take him off. And he scores 2 goals. Like, he completely shut me up. Like, fair play. Fair play. But this, out of all the wins, like, this is, in terms of statement, in terms of a massive mentality win, I made it clear. Like, you guys can check my match review about the game. This is a big statement win for Barcelona. This is a big mentality win for Barcelona. And then to finish it off, you had Sporting winning 4-1 against Caira. Sporting, couple goals from Trincao, Santos, and of course the Chelsea player from starting from next year, Quenda. But the table looks like this now. Of course, it's still early. It's the first game week, but a lot can change, especially from the second game week. Because if you're down, if you lose 2 games, if you only have 1 point after 2 games, listen, man, then it becomes a thing of chasing. Then you start to chasing teams, and it's difficult to chase teams. It's better to be up there rather than keep chasing and chasing and chasing. Like, I can speak from experience. Last season, we picked up 3 points in 4 games. That's why the top 8 was completely impossible to reach. That's why we finished in the playoffs. That's why starting strong early on is so massive. You can't have a great ending. You have to have a great start, especially in this Champions League format and league phase. But listen, guys, Put down in the comments what you guys made. Let me know if which game was the biggest game and the standout for you, and which game you're most entertained by. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. And of course, I'll see you soon with another video, and Real Madrid are playing tomorrow.